So we're here to do a review of the newspapers, and we already have the Daily Graphic and the major newspapers in the studio.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the Daily Graphic. Penny the penny, no so. Okay, and it's so heavy, really.
Yeah, very.
How many pages?
Still doesn't come up to the strength of the Nigerian
95.
newspapers.
I mean 96
or even
pages.
those we have in the UK or the US.
Well,
Even, Africa, Nigeria.
Oh, please. Well, Daily Graphic's headline says IGP declares war on vigilante groups, and it says fallout from Delta Force attack on court. And then it comes with a picture of IGP David Asante Appiah. Catholic bishops say action discredits Ghana. It's all in relation to the vigilante groups and what's happening. The group calling itself the Delta Force. The story is on page 3. And then another story says, go and sin no more. Speaker tells Ayariga that happened on Friday night. And a lot of people thought that it would die a natural death from Friday night. But well, here we are on Monday, and it's going to dominate the discussions, hopefully. Well, another story says, stop discharging liquid waste into the sea as Mudo treatment plant begins full operations. Haida Saeed. That story is on page 26. And freeze small-scale mining. It's official. Galamsey. It's official Galamsey. Okay. So small-scale mining is official Galamsey, and that is coming from the Ochihene. That story is on page 16. And if you know, a lot of people have criticized chiefs for being a part of the Galamsey menace. Ochihene is calling for a freeze on small-scale mining because, Roland, there's a difference. People say there's a difference between small-scale mining and illegal small-scale mining. But he's basically saying that those two are the same because even though people want to, the whole idea about creating the small-scale mining sector was to be able to regulate it. It doesn't appear to be working. It appears that the regulation isn't what it ought to be. And so they're creating the same problems.
But do you believe that we can regulate it?
I believe that it can be regulated. I believe that we can think. I believe that we can think about it.
Because ideally, you're not supposed to wash your raw material, whatever you excavate, into a running water. So if you're able to perhaps put together a nice water system that enables you to wash and you dispose of the wastewater adequately, it helps. And then if you mine or you excavate places, you have to reclaim.
Exactly.
That's how we have
so
to
I think the whole thing is that
so
the reclamation, that we've not done very well with reclamation, and that's why we're having this problem. I believe that we can reset, look at the problem. Now that we understand the problem and we've seen how big it has become, we can reset and begin to think of a proper way of dealing with it moving forward.
Well, you should work for the Minerals Commission.
Oh.
You have so many great ideas.
Okay, I see. But I didn't really say anything. I just said, let's reset. This one is more like common sense.
Social studies stuff.
It's pretty much like common sense. So IGP declares war. That story is here. And if I can, I'll just read very quickly the first paragraph. It says, following acts of lawlessness by some members of the Delta Force in Kumasi last Thursday, the Inspector General of Police, IGP, Mr. David Asante Appiah, has declared war on the activities of vigilante groups, mass disorder, and disturbances in the country. He said acts of lawlessness by those vigilante groups had the propensity to cast a slur on the hard-won image of the country, adding, as a nation, we have come very far. So you can grab a copy of that newspaper and look for those stories. Catholic bishops say that act discredits Ghana. So a lot of people talking about Delta Force and what they did in Kumasi. And Roland, I am totally appalled that this can happen and could happen in this dispensation when we have a president who is known to be or set to be or who we know has campaigned over and over on the back of rule of law. For me, it just blows my mind.
My concern is the major political parties, NDC and MPP, they have groupings.
Yeah.
Let's say each constituency has a group, or let's say each of the groups has chapters or branches in each constituency. We have 275. So let's say each
let's say 10.
Yes, let's say 10.
10 in each constituency. We are looking at what?
Well, we're looking at 2,750 people. Let's say 40. We're looking at 11,000. So let's say NDC has 11,000.
NPP has 11,000.
That's 22,000.
And
even the Ghana Police Force, how many people
in the Ghana Police.
Yes. How many people compose of the Ghana Police?
And the PNC and co, you know, the CBP,
yeah, they decide also to
yes.
have, let's say, 1 each, or let's say 5
well,
each.
actually, they have decided that, well, if government is not doing anything about the existing ones, then we as political parties are perhaps going to have to think of putting together our own.
And yesterday, I was reading stuff about Rwanda. It was about a journalist who started all the things on the Tutsis and the Hutus, etc. Gave out even list of people who the groups needed to go after.
I see.
And it started with these militias.
I see.
Okay.
I see.
So we need to take
That's terrible. That's terrible. I'm still with the Daily Graphic, just wrapping up. Let me look quickly at the center spread of that newspaper. It has a special feature, Buankra Inland Port rotting away, and it's got very beautiful pictures. I don't know if I should call it beautiful, but it's quite interesting. So apparently there's a Buankra Inland Port. I didn't even know there was, and it is rotting away. Once again, our very bad maintenance culture there.
This port was actually, the idea was mooted by the Kufuor administration.
I see.
And I believe that the Mills and Mahama administration tried to do something about it. But I don't know how come we're not able to do anything about it.
So it appears that we invest a lot in infrastructure, and we maintain them very poorly, and then they go to waste.
We leave it to rot.
Yes.
We actually haven't started making full utilization of the facility.
Well, just so you know, if any of the government institutions perhaps are watching, they should be looking at this, and I'm sure once it's in the center spread, it should receive some very serious attention as well. Angry fans chase Kotoko at Babayara Sports Stadium.
Which of the local teams do you support?
I think I would go for Phobia, because I have a former crush who is a Phobian.
Okay, so that's great.
So yeah,
I'm a Kotoko fan, and the latest is that the management of Kotoko, they've sacked the coach. Lugaro,
why are you guys always sacking coaches? Really?
Charlie.
Anyway, congratulations to Kwesi Appiah for making it back into the space, because Ghanaians are ready for you. I hope that they won't get so hard. They won't be so hard on you. By the way, what happened? Angry fans chased Kotoko at Babayara Sports Stadium. So the angry Asante Kotoko fans yesterday vented their spleen on their team after watching them draw another game at home. So if they draw, I mean, seriously,
they've not been doing too well in the Premier League. The hope is that they will win the Premier League, but they're only 4 points.
They will win.
Yeah, but they're only 4 points off the ladder. I don't know why the concern is coming from the
fans. Okay.
Kotoko is one of the top teams in Ghana.
Well, I say it's all part of the discipline. Anyway, Roland.
Yeah. Well, we have the Ghanaian Times. That's on the front page. Assemblies mismanaged 53 million Ghana Cedi's Common Fund. Auditor General report is revealing. And apparently that story on page 17 talks about how that money is as a result of irregularities such as non-compliance with the existing legislative framework and instrument, management lapses and weak monitoring at the ministerial, legislative and administrative levels of the assemblies, which are said to be pervasive. If we're talking English, Ghana, we can speak some. We also have...
Pervasive is not a big English.
Oh, sir. Police declare war on political vigilantism, and we have Ayariga apologizes to Parliament. Takwa Rail Line project to be completed by December. Great.
Okay, so it appears that Delta Force, the issue about the Delta Force, the lawlessness that they exhibited in Kumasi, and of course what happened in Parliament on Friday night is dominating or are dominating the newspapers this morning. I have Daily Guide here. The Daily Guide also comes with a picture of Mahama Ayariga, Al-Hassan Suhini, and of course Okujeto Ablakwa. Well, the story is Speaker warns Ayariga against lies. It's a very interesting way the Daily Guide decides to put it. That's capping what happened in Parliament on Friday. And then they say NDC begs Rawlings, please come back. And that story comes with a picture of former President Rawlings with some members of the NDC, including Haruna Iddrisu. So the caption is Haruna Iddrisu and NDC MPs with Jerry John Rawlings after the meeting. That story is on page 3, 6, and 10. You want to grab yourself a copy and get through with the details. A Merry deal is a rip-off, and that's well, I don't know how that story is connected to But if you look at the positioning on the paper, it appears quite connected, and I'm not really sure how they're connected. Fresh charges for Delta Force, and it comes with a little picture there in that right corner. That's a scene at the court during the Delta Force rampage, and at the back is all what do you call it, adverts. But in the center spread is a picture of Owusu Bempah leads Akufo-Addo prayers. I don't know what that story is about. It says Prophet Isaac Owusu Bempah, leader of the Glorious Word Ministry, in collaboration with the Minister of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Kofi Jamesi, will be organizing intercessory prayers for the nation. So basically, that's what that story is about. And here is the guy, our man, Joe Mettle. And it says, Joe Mettle makes history. Let's see if we can just have you look a little bit at it.
They say he was
he's the
artist of the
first year. Yes, and he's the first gospel artist to have reached that far.
I think it's significant.
On that. It is significant, and so we're hoping to have him on the show later today.
Realistically, he was, I mean, all over.
What are you talking about?
Artist of the year.
Yes. So, are you okay? Is it that you don't like the guy or something?
No. Oh, I have his album. So I beg you.
Okay.
I like him.
So that's Joe. I mean, the pictures are not that sharp, but you can still see Joe.
You know him. You know him personally?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
I do. Yeah. One of the things that, the first time I saw him, we went to GTV. It's a group of mine called Habos Dimasqua. It's an interdenominational.
That's in Tema?
Yes. It's an interdenominational choir. So we went to sing with him because we're going to do one of our programs, and so that was the first time I met him, actually. I think it's a fantastic guy. Hopefully we'll get him in the studio. But one of the things that a lot of people are talking about from the VGMA is the dresses that people wore. Did you see this lady?
Power Rangers.
Bella Mundi?
Yeah, there are a couple of them on Twitter and Facebook. The trolls were about Power Rangers because the colors of their dress, including Nana Mama Brown, Bella Mundi, and I think somebody else wore a blue, and then another one wore something else.
Hey, Charlie.
And then they brought the Power Rangers. You know Power Rangers?
No, who are they?
It's a
Power Rangers.
Series. Yes, it's a series for kids.
It's a cartoon.
No, yeah, they have the cartoon before they have the real one also for kids.
So someone wore something that looks like Power Rangers.
Well, the colors. So they and apparently they happen to have assembled
all of
the
them.
Same time.
And it's going
on I think some part on the red carpet or something like that.
I see.
And so they put the Power Rangers at the top. Somebody just decided to edit the pictures.
Oh, of course, we do that a lot.
And then they put the Power Rangers at the top, and they are down. They said, if you want to watch Power Rangers, just go to the red carpet of the VGMAs.
Go to the VGA. I hear some people are calling it.
I know what people are calling.
They're calling it. Is it? Oh, they're calling it VAJIMA.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway,
I know.
Well, let's move on. This is Daily Guide, by the way.
Please move on. Okay, so we move on to the Daily Statesman. It says Ghana at war with Chinese economic gorillas, and that's a former moderator of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, Professor Marty. Because we know the Chinese embassy has formally petitioned the ministry in charge of the sector and saying that the way you're treating our citizens and the way we think that the media in Ghana is reporting the issue of perceived Chinese invasion of small-scale mining in Ghana is biased and needs to be done adequately.
I see. I haven't seen that particular. I haven't seen it in full, not the story. I haven't seen the petition, whatever it is that they sent to the ministry.
You mean the petition itself?
Yes,
no.
I haven't seen it
just have
in
snippets
full.
of news reports.
So I don't know. I mean, two things could happen. First, you could say perhaps they're right. Maybe we're overemphasizing the role. Hold on, maybe, that's what I said. Maybe we're overemphasizing the role of the Chinese.
Have you gone to the community to see the terrible state?
I don't even have to go because there are drone visuals. And in 2013, I did a documentary. We traveled 6 regions to bring that documentary together. And it featured the extent of destruction to our water bodies. And this was in 2013. Nobody seemed to pay a lot of attention. We spoke about it for a while, and then that was it. And we're here today in 2017 dealing with a bigger mess. Not the same, a bigger mess, because we all failed to address the issue from the beginning, and now we're left with a bigger mess. So with the issue of the Chinese, I think two issues. First, perhaps we're overemphasizing the role of the Chinese because the Chinese cannot do it without help from Ghanaians. So we are hurting our own selves, and we are pushing these people, and we're putting we're doing that. Yeah, we're doing that and getting because of the little the peanuts that they get from these Chinese. And if you look at history information out there, there's a linkage between the galamsey that's going on here and the particular town in China where most of them seem to be coming from. I hear there is an economic boom there. People are buying cars, people are going into real estate, going into mortgages.
All feasting on our gold.
Yes, and those people, the linkage is that those people,
I think they had their mayor come to Ghana.
Yes. So those people in that province, most of them are here in Ghana doing galamsey. Secondly, the Chinese maybe, so that is the first. The first is that maybe we're overemphasizing. Secondly, it could be that these people are just looking at us and saying, "Who these people?" I mean, for me, it is the apex of disrespect if they indeed they're that. So there are two things that can be looked at, and I'm very eager to find out how the ministry deals with this and deals with it comprehensively.
Good insight. It's good that 2013 you did all that for 6 regions, because it gives us greater insight too, because also we need to have the knowledge and deal and ask the right questions when we're talking to those involved in the subject.
Right.
Indeed, this cannot be done without the help of Ghanaians.
Of course.
and look, there's any media person who has been in this knows that or knows a Ghanaian who is abetting or condoning this.
And it's not just
I do, and I'm sure you do too.
And it's you know, the from the top to the bottom.
Yes.
From the top, they are
the political elite to the people in the local community.
And I find it strange that we can't name them. People say we have names, we know them, but nobody is willing to put out the names, and that is the problem. And that is the reason why galamsey will not stop until we take a decisive action. It won't stop.
So we have the Daily Statesman has on the front page other stories. Jobs are coming. Alain Tramanting is assuring prison officers against former DGO as council member, and then Admiral halts scrap dealers business on Pram Sea. But other stories, Gifty, we have 207 million Ghana cedis for fertilizer subsidy program. And we know that it's been announced over the last week.
Okay,
so
hopefully it won't be the NDC NPP thing,
where some is only given to NPP members.
Yes, it's
because the last time the accusation was that it was only given to only NDC
members,
farmers.
of course. So,
all right. So let's look at the
apparently
last.
we don't have a lot of time to do this, do we?
No, we
I
don't.
see. I have the Finder newspaper. Sorry, I'm talkative here today. I have the Finder here. The Finder says, Kweku Sechi-Addo, new board chairman of NCA. Sounds good. Congratulations to him. We'll see how that goes. And woes of Delta Force deepens. IGP says suspects to face additional charges. Startups to enjoy 1-year tax holiday. That's by Business Development Minister, who is also the owner of this newspaper. I must put her in there. Government in 200 million record-breaking fertilizer subsidies. And Isaac Krensel is new Commissioner of Customs. Isaac Krensel is new Commissioner of Customs. That's his picture right on the corner, the right corner there on the newspaper. Okay, well, that's it. Let's move on with the BNFT. Roland?
And the BNFT has on the front page, FMB forecast 4.5 economic growth, lower than government projects.
Okay. Is that all you want to do with the BNFT?
That's all I want to do. It says the First National Bank has said that the Ghanaian economy is not likely to expand as much as the government expects it, pegging its economic growth projection for the year at 4.5% as against 6.3% growth target.
Okay.
So we have other stories there. Final outbreak cost apparently the economy 97 million Ghana cedis just in 2016. We need to do something about this.
Okay. And the Today newspaper comes with a hashtag Stop Galamsey Now. So Galamsey is still trending in the newspapers. Delta Force features prominently here on that newspaper. Ban mining, and it comes with a picture of the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, John Peter Amewu. Pupils sit on floor to write and learn at Gomwa Mampong Primary. And that story is on page 3. You want to grab yourself a copy of the Today newspaper, and that story of Galamsey actually is in the center spread. One to me must rather shut up and not Kandapa. That is an opinion written here in the Today newspaper.
Awesome.
Looks like that's it for the newspapers. Can we do the online portals now?
Yes, so we have to go to My Joy Online and give to you do My Joy Online quickly.
Okay, appear on the screen, My Joy Online, like now.
We're charming it in such a way that...
well, it appears our charms are not that strong.
Okay. Next we have to do sports though, and Benedict also will be joining us. You like Chelsea?
Not really, because too many Ghanaians
When you were
like
in England,
Chelsea.
which team were you supporting?
I wasn't supporting any team, but I think I was gradually getting...
Into Man United?
No, seriously,
Liverpool?
you've asked me a question, let me answer. Maybe Swansea, but... but you see, I think I like Arsenal. I like Arsenal. But anyway...
You were saying Swansea?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't. But I got an admission there as well,
Yeah,
just
so-
that I didn't take it. Police begin probe into stolen Indium University cash. Police will stop hating. Those of you who are hating, stop.
Yeah.
Police
Derek Ekosam and the rest.
begin probe into stolen Indium University. What that story is about, police have started investigations into the circumstance that led to the alleged embezzlement of a building permit fee paid by Dr. Papakwesi Indium. That story, I'm sure you hear a lot about in the course of the day. The threat of Delta rebels, a test of character in leadership. That looks like an opinion on the first line. Okay, well, let's move on now. Let's look at this particular story that was making the rounds on social media. A lot of people, I thought it was not for real, but it looks like it is. Nigerians boycott Coca-Cola drinks after court rules them
Can we click on the story and read?
poisonous. Perhaps we should get the first and the second paragraphs, shall we?
Wow.
Okay, so we're doing a little bit of magic here, but just as we wait, just as we wait, Kotoko sack. What's the name of your coach again?
Lugaros
Logarosic. It looks like
Lugarosic.
Logarosic. I
Yeah.
see. So
He's a Balkan, so definitely you need to put
Zdravko.
him.
Is that Zdravko?
Zdravko.
Logarosic. I see. How much were they paying him, by the way?
I'm sure $50,000. You know Ghana did. Yeah, for more
We
50,000.
get cash. Coca-Cola. That's the Coca-Cola story. Roland, you want to go through the first and second
You
paragraph?
can read the first two paragraphs.
Well,
for us.
consumers of Sprite and Fanta have more to worry about than rotten teeth, according to a Lagos High Court judge who ruled that the Coca-Cola products could be poisonous. The court held that high levels of benzoic acid and sunset additives in the popular soft drinks could pose a health risk to consumers when mixed with ascorbic acid, commonly known as vitamin C, according to local media.
Hey,
So if
and this one was by Justice Adedayo Oyebanji.
Oyebanji,
Yeah.
he ordered the Nigerian bottling
Who has it?
company to place written warnings on Fanta and Sprite bottles against drinking them with vitamin C, and awarded cost of 2 million naira against the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration for failing to ensure health standards. So, well, if you are this is what happened in Nigeria, but the presupposition is that it is the same as if you read that story that went on social media, and I think that Coca-Cola will have to come out and
I think
answer.
they'll
Yes.
appeal this. They always do.
Well, they will have to answer a few questions, and they have to keep testing some of these things, because if drinking this is
But-
killing people,
But you know,
then you
drinks from the Coca-Cola bottling company are very popular around the world.
yes, they are popular, but if there's something going wrong, then they need to check it, and they need to come out and answer a few questions. So, yeah, so just so you know, not that we're doing any bad press for anyone, but really, I think
Just
this
in case,
is a
just
public...
in case Gifty is afraid. We're just reading the story.
Well, I'm not afraid, but this is a public health concern.
It's not.
And
We're not doing any bad press.
It's not about the bad press per se, but
Okay,
it's a balance.
so let's
you need
look
to
at-
create the balance. All I'm saying is that Coca-Cola needs to answer, because so far they've not spoken. They need to provide some
There are all sorts of
answers.
things on YouTube about that drink, but let's look at it.
I know. Minority
Oh, you know that.
angry over reduction. Why are you making me do all the talking? Please go
Okay,
ahead.
so minority is angry over reduction in rural electrification budget. You still do the talking. Please continue.
The minority in parliament has raised concerns about, and then they took it off, and it's back. Minority in parliament has raised concerns about what it says is a reduction in budgetary allocation for the rural electrification program this year. That will be a very interesting thing. It's one of the things that John Mahama used to mention a lot as part of their achievement of the NDC.
Expansion of electricity.
Yes, so
system.
that's why it's actually the minority's call, I believe. So we need to look at that just so there is continuity. I mean, if the money,
And the thing about us
there
learning
has to
genocide
be
lessons is also on the front page. It's also on the main page. The government told as Rwanda marks 23rd anniversary of the genocide.
That's a story we did earlier on this morning, that we should learn from the genocide lessons. And what they're saying is that when you have all of these vigilante groups put together, etc., they can pose a very huge challenge to national security.
They
so
easily rally themselves when, when they have difficulties or we have some anarchy.
Yes, and these are people who don't have any professional
and they hold the allegiance not the state and
exactly,
to nobody.
and they just do what they want.
Easily controlled by political forces.
But the problem is that they help the parties, those in opposition, because they do not have trust in the police at the time they are in opposition.
So we need to do something
about together their boys. Yes, they put together their boys to protect them, and they also feel like, look, we helped you, and you have to sort us out somehow. So that's something that we need to look at very seriously.
So you're saying they have a legitimate case?
Not necessarily. They don't. They have a legitimate case with the people who employ their services because they need to sort them out. Okay. But it shouldn't be a problem as a nation. And under no circumstances should they be allowed to be lawless. No.
Charlie, you should work with the IGP. You'll be a good advisor.
Please.
Now let's look at the...
City FM. Oh, City Online. Okay. We didn't betray Delta Force. That's Ashanti MPP. Just what we're talking about. Okay. Precisely. Whatever it is, deal with it and stop the lawlessness. That's what this is all about.
That's the most important
thing. Exactly. Kweku Sechiado steps down as Telecoms Chamber CEO. Is that job up for grabs?
Fine man, you can pose. What? I love this pose.
Stop objectifying him. Anyway, well, is that post up for grabs, Roland? The
think so.
Telecoms. Okay. All right. Congratulations to him once again, sir. If you're watching, congratulations to you. If you're not, anybody who's watching, please tell him I said congratulations. Mahama Ayaga. There, it says Ayaga could have been expelled from Parliament if, and that's coming from a lawyer. Akufo-Addo has best opportunity to fight Galamsey. There we go again, and it's coming from Sam George calling on President Akufo-Addo to deal with Galamsey and deal with it to the best of his capabilities. Okay,
so we have to wrap up for sports. Benedict also will be telling us how in England we had wins for Real Madrid, not only in Spain, but also we had wins for Chelsea. Madrid drew, apparently. I read the story, wrong story from the internet post. And Chelsea won, Manchester United, we had Liverpool winning as well, so great.
And meanwhile, here in Ghana, fans are chasing Kotoko players out of the
So we have the latest update. Do stay on.